What is up, everybody? We've convinced Greg McHale from Greg McHale's Wild Yukon TV to leave the North Country and come on down and visit us here at Vortex. Greg, what do you think so far?
To be honest, Mark, I didn't know what to expect, and I rolled into the parking lot, and the first thing I thought is I'm rolling into a university campus. Walked into in the front doors, and it's an experience. So what you guys have got here, and the camaraderie, the lifestyle, the work atmosphere here, as I've never seen anything like it. So congratulations. You guys look like you're having a blast. You've treated us like gold, and we really appreciate it. So it's great to be here with you guys. Thanks.
Well, awesome, Greg. And I'll tell you, the best part about it is you're here right now. And so we're going to talk a little bit about sheep hunting, Greg. You're kind of a big sheep hunter.
I know a little bit about sheep hunting, I think. You're
the only person that I know that hunts sheep every year and has like a person maybe in Wisconsin might have be like, oh yeah, I'm going to show you my buck from this year, my buck from last year. Yeah, I got pictures of this one. Like, you have that, but it's like sheep.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty fortunate to live where I do, and sheep hunting is my number one passion as far as hunting goes. And yeah, so I get a lot of time in the mountains, and are lucky to be in good sheep country.
Yes, good sheep country, good sheep shape, and you have good sheep gear, which is the subject of this 10-minute-ish talk. I'm going to emphasize the ish on this one, everybody. But you brought some of your gear here.
Okay.
And we all know that it's the gear that gets you up and down the mountain, right?
So the gear that I brought today is
that was sarcasm. By the
way. Well, I mean, certainly there are definitely things that assist in getting up and down the mountain, and sometimes one of the pieces of gear. A lot of our hunts, if I didn't have this thing, I would probably not be going anywhere at certain times of the day. So that's to lead into the gear the gear that I brought with me. It's not the things that are normal that you would have to have. Like, obviously not a gun, not your optics. If anybody knows anything about sheep hunting and you don't show up with binoculars or a spotting scope, then you have no business being in sheep country. So I left that kind of stuff out of it.
Right.
Just a few different things that I make sure that I bring on every sheep hunt that just kind of help me get through it under sometimes adverse conditions or
exactly. Yeah, like we're talking here, this is kind of like five or 5-ish things that you should have in your pack when you're going sheep hunting that really might not be considerations that you'd make for a different type of hunting.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is not part of it. This is my my mics. So the quick thing is that it's on the top. So this is a scope cover by Air Armor Tech. This thing is not. This is probably the number one item people are gonna go. What's that all about? But it's an inflatable cover that goes over my scope. It goes over, basically encapsulates everything from the scope down. So I've had situations where I've fallen down the mountain in a rock slide, and my gun on my back of my pack, protected by the scope cover, and it comes out. I came out in one piece, and so did my gun. So this is one thing. I believe that this product right here is the number one piece of gear that I have that covers more different scenarios that I could use it for than any other piece of gear. And that's the key for me, is having gear that will not just do one function, but is multifunctional.
So, and when you first brought this out, I'm like, okay, nice to have. It's kind of big. It seems a little extra. Didn't assume that it was going to have multi-purpose functionality.
Okay, so the best thing about, not the best thing, just the fact that it is multi-function is amazing. So it's easy to blow up, first off. So
okay, that was one good breath. Looks like you're done.
So then this goes on the scope. Now, obviously it protects your gun. Okay, that's the first thing. And it protects it. It's made of, I think, similar material to what they make airbags for vehicles out of.
Okay.
And I put these things through the mill, and they're amazing. It's made in the U.S. This thing, besides the fact that it's going to protect your gun if you fall, or you put your, often I just take my pack off, and my gun sits on the very back of my pack, which a lot of guys have it on the side. I don't. I've got my weight distribution with all of my gear dialed in, and my gun is right in the middle of the back of my pack. So when I pull my pack off, I don't even have to worry about, some days, you're hiking for 10, 12 hours or whatever, and you're bagged out, and like you're just tired, you're done, and you just want to, drop that pack. And I know that if that happens and I just kind of drop that pack, there's no worries about it. Okay. So that's number one. Number two, can't tell you how many times we've lost a sleeping pad in the middle of a hunt, and then this thing becomes your sleeping pad for under your hips.
Okay.
Which is, I don't know if you're a side sleeper, but anybody spends a lot of time sleeping in a tent and your sleeping pad goes down, then it can be a miserable sleep for the rest of the hunt.
Yes.
So this thing now becomes your sleeping pad. Okay. Next.
Just enough to kind of get you off the ground a little bit.
Yeah. I put a jacket or whatever underneath my shoulders. Try to bring your shoulders up a bit, and I sleep on my side, so I never have to worry about my hips sitting on the rocks all night.
Okay.
So and if you've ever been on a sheep hunt or any mountain hunt where you're going day after day, having good sleep at night is huge, and just having that time to recover after a good day of pushing is really important. And even if it's only 4 hours, it's 4 hours of good sleep versus 8 hours of crap sleep is a big difference. So that's number two. I often use it for like when I'm shooting and I'm on the animal. Just put it underneath my arm to take up space.
Okay. Sure. Yep.
Or if I didn't, I've often, or in the past, I'm usually, you have a bipod or whatever, but I can put it down on the rocks. Lean your gun. So and then in the snow, it becomes your butt pad.
Okay.
So, or in the rocks, if you're sitting in the rocks glassing all day, and then, just pull it off your gun, sit on it, and, you can sit there in comfort all day long.
Well, you mentioned the durability before. It definitely must have that if you're able to sit on it in rocky terrain, which you often find yourself in.
Yeah. I have a gun case made by the same thing, and it's holy crap. We're already that's not going to work.
We were definitely putting the I in ish today.
Yeah, I see the countdown, and I'm not used to a countdown timer, but it's great. Let's move on.
It looks like you'd use that as a pillow too if you had to.
Yeah, absolutely. I use it as a pillow.
Or maybe you even mentioned that before.
And then. But really, it comes down to, having good sleeps, right? So when you're talking about days in the mountains, you need to sleep well at night, and the more shut-eye you can get and not worry about rocks. So that's why a good sleeping pad is a must. Is a must for me.
Which one do you have there?
That's a Climate one.
What's the R value on it? Do you know? It's pretty lightweight.
and there's smaller ones too. That one's
16 ounces pound. Perfect.
But yeah, I've
4.4. Yeah. Okay.
I've had ones that are smaller and lighter, and they work. But at the same time, on a long hunt, you want something that's going to make it through the hunt.
It's nice not to carry some of that stuff, but then when you want to use it, a little more can be better. Okay,
trekking poles. Now I started out hunting, and I remember the days when a guy would bring trekking poles on a hunt, and these are usually clients when I was guiding. And, we would see the trekking poles show up, and we was kind of go, oh, no, great, what kind of a dude do we got here? But after I started adventure racing and I started using trekking poles, adventure racing, then I started to move them into my hunting pack. And as soon as I did that, it was like, I'll never go back. Like the weight that they take off your hips, your knees on the way down the hill, especially with a sheep on your back, it's huge. And carbon are the only way to go as far as I'm concerned. Light, those ones are made by Lecky. There's all kinds of good brands out there. And trekking poles are a must.
You mountain hunt 10 billion times more than I do, but occasionally when I get out and do it, like it's just night and day. Like they're life-changing. They are life-changing. It's like having 4-wheel drive.
They will save a guy's hunt.
Mm-hmm.
Like just having the ability to take that weight off and use your upper body whether it's going uphill or downhill. It's huge.
Well, and then, you're talking the downhill. It really, I don't know, it's like 4-wheel drive up and it saves your knees on the down. I know I've saved myself from taking some pretty nasty spills by being able to dig a pole in. And then also, like, sometimes you're so fatigued, at least I get fatigued.
Totally.
Like it'll kind of save you there when you maybe are a little bit less stable than you normally are. Like you said, if you got a sheep on your back or you got a heavy load, like, yeesh.
That's really, the steep uphills, shorten them up and, and get underneath them and then lengthen them out for the downhills and, use them. You're not going to be as fast, but you're going to be in control.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
I like it.
What do we got there? We're through 3. And then this here is the must, right? There's nothing, this is a Princeton Tech. I'm talking head torch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many times we've been on hunts and one of us, which is typically me, forgets a head torch or, the batteries run out or die. And I've moved a lot during the night with no light, so I can do it from racing. But we've had to hike back. I think the last time it really failed on me, or I failed not to have it, was a couple years ago, and we had to do probably like a 5 or 6K hike in the dark back to our base camp. It's just you shoot a sheep in the afternoon or shoot a sheep in the evening, and it's September. It's dark by 9 o'clock, and you want to get back to camp. Otherwise, you're sitting on the side of the mountain. There's no trees to burn, so you just keep walking, right?
Yeah.
And this gets you home, and hours of. You were talking about 2 a.m. hikes back to camp, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't do it without a head torch.
Nope.
Or else everybody around you better have one, and
yep.
And then it still sucks.
Yep.
Like.
Yeah, inevitably, and I've done that too. Where like the person, you're like, they got a lamp on, and then you're good, and all of a sudden they move their head or something. You're like, I don't know where I'm going anymore.
It's the worst place to be. It's almost better with somebody who's ahead of you and has a light, but if you got somebody behind you and you're using their light and then it's gone and you're tripping over. Yeah.
Yep.
Anyways, head torch. Make sure you have it. And then this is this is just my down coat. I don't go anywhere without down, and whether on a sheep hunt, if it's in August and I don't use it, great. But it's for the weight of it weighs nothing, and it's a lifesaver. If you're sitting up there freezing your butt off, and you can you pull this out and you throw it on, it's just like. So, doesn't matter whether it's rainy, if it's going to be a wet hunt or not. I've got a down jacket in my bag.
You are a man after my own heart, Greg. The puffy jacket literally is like it's a non-negotiable as far as going in your pack, even if you think it's going to be nice. Like, because inevitably you sit down to glass, maybe the wind comes up, a little bit, something rolls in. Like you said, you put it on, you take it off, multi-purpose functionality. It can double as a pillow. You can, like you were talking about using that other thing as a rear bag. It can be a rear bag.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll throw it in the top lid of my pack because I think, well, even though I'm not using it today, I might want to shoot off it. And then, I don't know. And it's part of your sleep system.
Totally.
Loved it. I'm glad you brought that one up. That's the best thing.
So my question is there anything here that you didn't know of or that you didn't think was something that made sense for you?
The Air Armor Tech was not something that I had considered before until you brought it out, because I was like, I've got like maybe a neoprene scope cover or something like that, and that's also because I kind of thought it just did one thing.
And
it's really not that. It's not a crazy weight penalty either.
No.
Huh.
No, it's air.
Yeah,
it's
but
not
even like
it's
the like it looks like a heavy duty fabric. Like even the bladder or air bladder, whatever. I'm sure it's got to be a heavy duty one, but it's not. I'd be curious to know how much that weighs. It's not much.
Yeah, I've never put it on a scale because it's not negotiable.
Right, and like the buckles are heavy duty, like which is good. You're gonna want that, like this needs to stand up, but like it doesn't. Yeah, I like that.
That's the one thing that that for me is the game changer. That if I was, I think about. Yes, I live in the Yukon. I get to hunt sheep every year. I get to hunt sheep multiple times a year. But if I was going on a hunt that, I didn't get to go every year, why would I not want to? Why would I take the risk of not having the best protection for the one piece of gear that is the most important in the whole thing?
It's kind
which is your weapon.
Yes,
because nothing happens without it, right? And if that thing at game time, when it's go time and it has to get done, if that thing hasn't been protected properly, or it's been knocked and you don't know and you lack confidence in it, why wouldn't you?
Everything could be for naught.
Exactly. And nowadays, if you're paying $30,000 for a sheep hunt, that's about the cheapest insurance you're ever going to get. And it's proven, like I said, I rolled down the mountain and my gun came out and my scope came out pristine.
Well, and I'll tell you this, I've never had insurance that I could sit on or partially sleep on or shoot off of. So that's the best insurance maybe I've ever seen. I like it, Greg. I love this conversation. Definitely. I mean, these are, like you said, these are must-haves. These are all must-haves, some unique must-haves. And this couldn't be more fitting. When you came down here, you brought us some sheep burgers. We just finished grilling them up. So if my eyelids look like they're about ready to close, they are. We just feasted on sheep burgers. And even the weather was a little sheepy out there while we were grilling. It was like
perfect.
Gray, spitting rain, drizzle.
Yeah, we had to tough it out.
We did. Yeah, we had to tough it out. We're like, it's raining. Let's go inside. Yeah. But no, cool, Greg. Can't thank you enough. It's awesome having you here and awesome tips on the gear. If you have any additional sheep gear questions out there, let us know. We'll let Greg know. He's the sheep guru. He's the guy you want to ask. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Thank you, Greg. We'll catch you on the next one.